the world needs lemonade makers. That kind of person who is able to go through the mess and find the lessons and find something to just hold on to. I'm super excited to have Sisanda with us today to share her journey from that rock bottom right back to the top. To help me unpack this, I have Shosho in the studio. Sisanda, thank you so much for coming. I'm super excited to have you today.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here, and I'm also looking forward to our day today.
All right. So let's go straight into it. Tell us, what was your childhood like? How did you grow up? Were you surrounded by love? What was it like growing up?
I was surrounded by love. I am loved till today.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up with my grandparents in Cape Town. My parents are married. I have a very interesting childhood, in fact. My dad is from the Eastern Cape. My mom is from Cape Town. I grew up in Cape Town, but would go to the Eastern Cape every once in a while. But he worked in the Free State. But generally, I was loved, surrounded by love, stability, support. Yeah.
All right. And just take us back to 2016, is it 2017? When the trauma really started.
2017.
2017,
yes.
All right.
2016, I left full-time employment to pursue a business venture.
That was bold.
Yeah, we're going to take some risk in this life. So I took that and took a 3-month sabbatical to spend time with my children because I just finished studying. Good. 4:15 happened in my life.
4:15.
4:15. I'll always remember this. It was at 4:00 in the morning. My phone rang. And I was told my daughter's in a car accident. And I looked out. In fact, they asked me, am I her mother? And I said, yes. Yes. And I responded to the call. And they told me things are not looking good. So as I was rushing to get to the accident scene, I called her dad because we're not together. And I told him, I described where they had said the location was. I went to drop off my other 2 younger kids with my neighbor. Yes, and I got to the scene and she was gone. Yeah.
How old was she?
She was 16, about to turn 17 years. She would have turned 17 on the 6th of May, 2017. So she was 16 at the time.
At this point, if I ask you something which you feel is too sensitive or you're not comfortable to respond to, it's okay. You can tell me to pass.
Yeah.
I want to understand, as a parent, as a mother, there's just something extra which comes with just being a mother. How did you feel in that moment? What was it like for you in that moment?
It's amazing what God does for one, because I've always believed that God prepares one's way. So just a bit of background, perhaps in 2012, I had my 3rd child. I was not ready to share. I wasn't ready to have my 3rd child because I was studying. I was in the middle of doing a master's program. I'd lost a sister. My dad was, my mom was sick, in fact. But anyway, to cut a long story, I had my 3rd baby and I wasn't ready. But in the process of having conceived her, I was given a name by an angel, Nguquko, which means
for the
salvation.
Baby.
Yes.
Oh.
Which means salvation. And God knew everything. I had laid my heart out to God about that pregnancy. So at the time when I got to the scene, I had dreams in the previous few months about this, about something happening, but I didn't realize it would be this. So when I got there and her body was lying, it was lying in the junction, of, I don't know, the street and into the National Road 2 and this other intersection. And I said, God, you knew best. You knew why I would have to carry my lastborn. And because you are that God, you'll carry me. You'll carry me through this. Yeah. It was the first thing. It was the first thing that occurred that, well, God must have known. Well, he knew. But at that time, it's like, God, you knew this. You'll carry me through. And I prayed over her body. And I asked God to accept her spirit and forgive her of any sins. Because I wanted her to have eternal life. Yeah.
Okay, let's just park that one just for a bit. Now take us to your new venture now.
Yes.
It also came with its own brokenness. Take us through that.
Yeah. When I left full-time employment, I had a vision of starting a consulting firm. And this was an opportunity I had identified, with the work that I was doing. It didn't work out. It did not work out because the shock of losing a child, it crippled me. Things didn't work out, and then I sought full-time employment. I gave myself a break between 2017 to the end of 2017. In 2018, when I'm a numbers person, when I started seeing the balance sheet, well, maybe the bank account rather, started looking at my bank account, it's like, girl, you need to get a job. I started applying and things were still not working well. But fortunately, in 2021, a break came through.
Oh.
Yep.
But so did you start a business or you got a job? What happened?
I started a business back in 2016. In 2021, I got a job.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I got a job. Moved provinces. Yes, I'm a Cape Town girl through and through. But I moved to Gauteng to rebuild.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
All right. So I want you to speak to someone who is out there, who is going through what you went through during that time after losing your daughter. I want you to speak to that person who is still broken, who cannot even imagine a tomorrow that is possible. So please just take us through what helped you. Because when I look at you now, if you don't share your story, I just see a beautiful woman who is friendly and warm. But we all know now that it's not like that. So take us through the steps. And Shosho, please feel free to just jump in. Take us through what was the journey like? What were you trying to do to even face the next day and keep fighting? Just share as much as possible around that.
A lot of things happened. Firstly, I did have the support of family and a few of my friends. I do have a very small circle of friends and a very small and tight circle of friends.
Okay.
My family, those friends, they kept me going. My faith. And I guess also my personal experiences, I have observed, and it's amazing that it was something I'd always observed. I had observed women growing up in Guguletu, which is a township in Cape Town. There were a number of deaths, particularly of young men, because of violence. And I'd always observed how the mothers changed from the person they were before the loss of a child and the person they became after the loss of the child. That level of pain changes you in ways that only once you go through it you'll understand. So there was a consciousness as I was grieving and going through what I was going through that I still have two children who look up to me. And I am alive. I am alive. I have dreams. And one day again, I will rise from this
Amen.
and live out those dreams.
Amen. Amen. I like that.
That's good. I guess my question for you, Sisanda, is just around, because your daughter died in an accident, you were obviously not prepared. No one is ever prepared for something like that. Looking back, do you have any regrets in terms of, I wish I had said this to her, or I wish I had done this? And if there is, have you changed that with your children now?
I'm a very spontaneous person. I'm a free spirit. I go with the flow. My daughter had the opportunity of being an only child for 8 years. She experienced my full love. I fell pregnant with her in my last year of varsity. Another story for another day. So I was a young mom. I loved her completely, and I thank God for having given me that opportunity. But yes, losing a child has changed how I parent. I am aware of the preciousness of time. I go out there. I love completely. I live, and we celebrate each other. I forgot the other part of the question, but yes, I don't have regrets. I don't have regrets because I do thank God that at the time when I arrived, at the scene, I spoke to my child because that was my child lying there, and I told her I love her, and I think that allowed me to let go because we had always been close, but that saying I love you and I'm really sorry at this, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through, but I know that the God who's brought me this far will lead me through this. So I don't have regrets about that part.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you have answered my question. You said now you understand the value of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just celebrating moments, being in the moment.
Yes.
So we often get a lot of questions or concerns around grief, but particularly focusing on people who are meant to comfort you when times are tough like that. That they mean well, but often they say the wrong things, they do the wrong things. In fact, there are so many stories that come to us that come from people who say they've been hurt by people who were trying to help them, to support them, to stand with them. Maybe it's a comment, maybe it's just some sweeping statement. Did you experience any of that?
Yes, I did.
If you can also be very specific.
I did. The first one, my daughter passed away on a Sunday morning, which was the Easter weekend. And I remember, I don't know what it was during the process, but I had to go to the police station, and the policeman said to me, "How you look so decent? What was your child doing in the streets at 4 a.m?" I didn't have words to respond. I just looked, at him and I went away. But a friend of mine actually said to me something. She said to me, "Sisanda, we don't know what to say to you. And please, as your friend, I'm asking you that you allow people to be. As painful as this is, allow them to be, because they don't know what to say. They really don't know." So I guess it came from a point where, because she said that,
That was good.
Yeah. I think also when you're grieving, giving people that benefit of the doubt that they definitely don't mean to.
Yes.
Look, sometimes they do, but in most cases, if there are people who are from within your close network, they mean well. But they could also be traumatized and confused it's some level, it's from some level that they may end up hitting the person who is grieving, but that's never the intent. All right. Any other comments there, Shasha?
No.
But I'd like to add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think having gone through that, one of the things it has taught me is that when I don't know what to say, I say it to the person. It's quite, because it allows you to be honest and to be in that moment with that individual who is going through whatever loss it is. What I would say is, I am really sorry for what you are going through. I do not have the words right now, but all I want you to know is that I'm here for you in any way possible.
Okay.
So it works for me.
Yeah, and I'm sure it works for a lot of people as well. Excuse me. So you lost a part of you. You lost your job. You lost a job, right? And would you say that was rock bottom for you?
Sure. Yes. I didn't lose the job. I left the job.
Oh, you left. Okay,
I left the job. Well, the job loss is now. Yeah, I didn't lose the job. I left the job with a solid plan, a very solid plan. There was statistical adjustments to salaries, lifestyle, and all those things in plan of what I was putting forward as a business venture. I lost a child 9 months into that. For a year and a half to almost 2 years, I was completely living out of, past savings and things like that.
Nothing coming in.
Nothing coming in. There was absolutely nothing coming in. My purse went dry. I had to rely on the help of family and friends. A lot of things happened. I almost sold my house, and thank God he saved it. I lost my car. Was repossessed. One of the harder lessons, again, I've had to live with. I lived. It was quite hard. I remember when COVID struck. COVID was hard on the world, but it was harder for families that had absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you'd like me to go further, just to give you.
No, I want to just frame it for the people who are watching at home. I want to frame it for them that this is certainly rock bottom, right?
Yes.
How do you start crawling up from that position? Because there are some people who never even try, they just accept. So maybe they can learn from your journey. How did you start crawling up or making an effort? Because there must have been some kind of mindset shift or something that happened there. What happened?
It was a combination of things that happened. Throughout the time, even at my lowest, I continued to apply for jobs. Wow. I continued being honest about my situation to people, that I knew, my networks.
Yeah.
So I continued to search for jobs, honesty with my networks, doing whatever it took. At some point I was selling, those oil perfumes. I did about everything. Yes, I did about everything to put bread on the table. But that light crept in when somebody who had heard about my availability from a close contact said, you know what, I've got a short-term contract. I'd like you to please support us with the financial management. I was like, oh, yeah.
That's it.
Something. Yes, there's something. Yeah. And I grabbed it. The salary was very low. The salary was very low, but I remembered my grandfather. My grandfather used to say, you must smell of money to attract more. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. And in that journey, did you ever come across people who would say, we knew it, you shouldn't have left that job? We knew this entrepreneurial journey is not always easy. It's not for you. Any of those naysayers?
Before anyone else, I also judged myself.
Oh.
Because during the time, I was struggling. I was struggling with a feeling that I couldn't explain what it was. Until the one morning I was watching a show on TV, and this woman, I think her husband had been a pastor, but committed suicide. And she said for the longest time she carried shame, and I realized this is the feeling I'm feeling. I felt shameful. I felt shameful because my children were used to a certain lifestyle, and I took the decision to leave full-time employment, and now I had exposed them to the roughest of the rough, according to me. But I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself because there was absolutely nothing I had done. In all my planning, there was no way I could have foreseen losing a child. I do believe that it was the biggest contributor to the time it took for me to grow. If I'm looking at it with my Sisanda eye, but the spiritual eye also tells me that I needed to go through all of that in preparation for the life I lead right now.
You're right. I like that. I like that.
That's good.
Do you have any, or rather, does it bother you if people take you back? People who know those days when you were trying to sell those oils and trying to, just to survive. Does it bother you when people take you back?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. You are quite
No.
okay talking about it, regardless of where you are.
Yes,
All right.
it's a beautiful story of a bigger story of my life. As hard as that was, it is who I am. Or rather than who I am, it is what I've gone through. It cannot be changed.
I like that attitude. I like that attitude because sometimes we struggle to share about our previous struggles. We want people to believe that we have always been where we are now. So it becomes a challenge to empower other people. People don't learn from us because we just continue to see the good side. We don't get told about the rock bottoms, about the tough season of life. So I think you're doing a good job because you become a role model to someone who is going through what you went through those many years back.
Thank you. I must say though that I'm quite conscious of how I share my story.
All right.
I have chosen to share my story with you. I don't go out there and share it all the time because there's some downs to it. I have had people using my story for their own benefit. Yes, to humiliate or try to humiliate, to try to degrade.
Let me just hold that thought for you. They are what I call them sin keepers or mistake keepers. People who are always focusing on all those seasons that you didn't make the greatest of choices or bad turns. When you made bad turns in life, that's what they remember. They will not remember anything that moves you forward, that's inspiration, that brings hope to other people. They don't remember that. They keep track of all the times that you have messed up. So do you run into those people in life?
Not really. This one incident where somebody tried to use this, I had shared with them. They didn't know my story. Had I not shared it with them, they wouldn't have known. So I had shared the story, believing that we had, a certain type of relationship.
All right.
And yeah.
Okay. And how did that make you feel?
It actually confirmed who I believed them to be.
Oh. Okay. So you were not really surprised?
Well, I still felt it was below the belt and very low of them to go there.
Okay.
But yeah, it is what it is.
All right. Any parting shots? Anything that you want to say to people who are watching, who have listened to your story? They still have doubts. They can't believe. They can't even picture themselves getting out of that rock bottom position.
until you are declared dead. Never give up.
Yes.
Never give up. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's just one simple step. Sometimes it was just closing the curtain at night, and at times it was waking up and brushing my teeth in the morning. But it was something to reassure me that I matter and I'm still alive, and I will push, and I'm still continuing to push.
That's it, Sisanda. Maybe tell us briefly, what are you doing now, and are you enjoying what you're doing now?
I'm doing a lot of things right now, but yes, and I love. I have 2 passionate projects. The one is I have recently started a foundation in memory of my daughter.
Oh,
it is about,
beautiful.
yes, it looks at road safety, empowering the youth to get ethical and credible licensing so that they become safe road users. Yes, and I teach.
You are a teacher at heart. I can see that.
Yes. So yes, I teach.
Any last notes there, Shosho?
I think I just wanna, I think from just listening to your story, I'm getting a sense of like, it's so important to have family, to have close friends who look out for you. And I'm so glad that you had that around you, from the way you tell your story. And also I just admire the fact that like you seem to be very self-aware, and like your faith keeps you grounded.
Yes.
Which is something that's like really, really cool.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you, Shosho.
Sisanda, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. You are indeed a lemonade maker of our time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Life is not always going to be kind to us, but as long as you have breath in your lungs, it's an opportunity to rise and build a lemonade maker from scratch. It is possible. We are grateful for Sisanda's story. I hope it has encouraged you as much as it has encouraged me. I look forward to raising my glass to more lemonade makers out there. Thank you for watching.